Welcome to the Best Damn Podcast. This is your host, Jill Lagan, CEO of the Boulder City Chamber of Commerce. In each episode, we will highlight what makes Boulder City, home of the Hoover Dam, the ideal place to operate your small business, explore world-class tourism attractions, and discover why we are the perfect place to live and unwind. We have a very, very, very special guest today, Miss Leslie Woodbury. Leslie has been a longtime friend. I'm excited to get to visit with her a little bit more, and I want so badly for you guys to know her better too. So she is here today as the director of the Boulder City Hospital Foundation. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Jill.
We're so glad to have you and to learn a little bit more about the foundation. I know that it is a household name. Everybody knows Boulder City Hospital. Everybody knows Boulder City Hospital Foundation. They know the Pink Ladies. They know Goldie's Shop, all of those great things. But I would like to know a little bit more. Can you drill us down into what is the Hospital Foundation and what is their purpose in Boulder City?
Well, the Hospital Foundation, like you said, it started years and years and years ago. Sarah Denton was really the founder of the Boulder City Hospital Foundation back in the 1960s. I feel like the job of the Hospital Foundation is to remind Boulder City why we need a hospital here in our small town, and it's also to help raise funds to help keep that hospital with us. And we do that through events like Art in the Park and the Boulder City Hospital Heart of the Community Gala every year.
Both super important and fun. So not only is it doing something wonderful, raising funds for this great purpose, but they're also great for quality of life, right? People enjoy the gala. They enjoy being able to participate and be a part of Art in the Park. It has such a long-standing history. What year will this will be for the Art in the Park? Do you remember? I think it's like 60 plus something, right?
I do. I think we're coming up on 60 years.
That is crazy, right? How important is that?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's really part of Boulder City's identity and its narrative.
And people don't even need to, you don't even have to advertise. People just know first weekend of October, they're guaranteed to have fun at Art in the Park.
Yes. I've loved being a part of Art in the Park. I have a funny story. When I came on to be the director, it's been about a year. I've only been with it for about a year. I asked a friend to be my assistant. I needed an assistant. I was desperate. We needed to get started right away. And I said, would you come and help assist me with Art in the Park and Boulder City Hospital Foundation? And she said, sure, you bet. And we got to the office, and 2 days in, she started laughing and said, when you asked me to help you with Art in the Park, I thought you had a booth at Art in the Park that I was going to help with. I didn't know we were over the whole entire thing. So we had a good laugh about that, and we reminded each other of that often.
It's impressive that she will still take your phone call.
I know. Yeah.
That is awesome. We so appreciate all of the helpers and the volunteers and people who have worked. And you know, the foundation has such a great foundation, right? So not only from the history and the legacy that Sarah built, who, by the way, will be 102 years old this year. I am so impressed. She's such a beautiful lady.
And you could have her on this podcast and she'd do a better job than me. She's so articulate.
Isn't she,
and
though?
Just on top of her game.
I had the joy of being with her at the Richard Bryan event this last weekend. And both of them, I mean, they have so much knowledge, their name recognition and the dates and the years. It's incredible. I am so impressed with both of them. Mm-hmm. True. But back to the foundation. So there have been many directors. In my 25 years with the Chamber, I've had the pleasure of working with many directors. They've all done a fabulous job. But I would imagine each one of them probably at some point in time could have the same story. I had no idea, because it really is so... There are so many assets and aspects of what we do for special events, but the importance and the value on behind the scenes. And so can we just talk a little bit about some of the things that the Hospital Foundation has been able to do, the amount that they've raised and what those dollars are going towards?
We like to put our money towards specific things. Just going back, let's just say Art in the Park is a pure fundraiser. All the money that it raises goes to the Boulder City Hospital. And so with that money, we've been able to buy a lot of equipment that patients need. Just for example, we've purchased blanket warmers, lab system equipment, TVs for the rooms for the patients, a rehab exercise bike, scopes, patient lifts, ER ultrasound machines, The list just goes on and on. Things for radiology, rehabilitation, physical therapy, our long-term care unit. They've all been touched. We've given to all of those areas of the hospital with foundation money.
And you're talking multiple millions, which is phenomenal. That speaks volumes of the individuals that believe and want to support the hospital. And so big shout out to anybody who's given anywhere from $5 to a donation to service hours. There's just, it's all encompassing. It's all inspiring.
It's very humbling to be able to see how much Boulder City gives to its hospital.
Sure.
On the down low and the side, and that we have 200 volunteers that help us with Art in the Park.
That's
just
incredible.
Giving their time.
Yeah.
And many of those are staff members of the Boulder City Hospital giving their time outside of work hours. That is super humbling to see a person over managing all the supplies for the hospital, driving a golf cart and picking up trash all weekend. It's a beautiful thing to witness and to be a part of.
Yeah, I can imagine it probably helps motivate you every day. But speaking of that, I would imagine that you probably have had an aha moment in this last year. Also a moment of what the heck am I doing? But let's go to the aha moment first.
I think the aha moment is exactly what I just said. Seeing all of the volunteers, the goodness and their willingness to give. I called Salome Jarvis one day before Gala and I said, I think I'd like to do a raffle outside the credit union just to remind people of the Gala. And we have this cash bouquet that we want to raffle off and a trip to Bryan Head for the weekend. She had 18 volunteers to meet immediately that sat all day, every day at the credit union the week before the Gala. It's just things like that are, wow, this is important. And people give their guts to it.
Yeah, they do. And she's amazing. Talk about a caring heart.
Yeah.
That's somebody. Okay, I'm just putting in a 2 cents. She might be somebody you have as your Gala, a person that you celebrate, because I would donate money for her.
Absolutely.
She would be fabulous.
That's not the first time that's been mentioned. Yep.
Yeah, she's amazing.
She
I
is.
just love her.
Absolutely.
Have you had some other experiences or maybe a story that you can share? Have you had anything that maybe you interacted with a patient or something that you were very grateful for? You could see that you made a difference in their life.
I can just talk from personal experience. I'm actually not a spokesperson for the hospital. My office isn't even at the hospital. So I'm not there on a day-to-day basis. But from personal experience, I can tell you that I've used both Boulder City Hospital in my personal life. My father-in-law had an aneurysm, and he would not be here today if it were not for Boulder City Hospital emergency room. Dr. Mayor Joe Hardy met him in that emergency room and stabilized him and got him the care that he needed. And also, I was on the phone with Salome Jarvis the other day talking about some hospital. I had some questions about the hospital for her. And she just this last week, she went through and talked to every long-term care patient about their home, their new home. And that home was not going to go away, that they could rely on it being their home and their family being there for them, the family being the staff that works in long-term care at the hospital. It is so important. They were hearing some rumors that long-term care was closing, which it is not. And she went to each one and assured them that it wasn't, because she realized that this is their home and that was creating fear in the patients, and that wasn't fair. She leads with her heart every single day. That's been super inspiring. My grandson, Hiram, couldn't breathe. He had the croup. I had him. His parents live in Utah, and I had him for the week, and I didn't have his nebulizer. I was able to take him to the emergency room at Boulder City Hospital, and a respiratory therapist sat with us all night long and got Hiram calmed down and got him breathing and sent us on our way. And I just feel such a peace of mind knowing that's there and that they care.
Right. And that we don't have the congestion that you are going to have to witness or experience at some of the other facilities.
Exactly. My dad was bit by a bark scorpion. For those of you who don't know what that is, that's the most poisonous bark scorpion that we have. And immediately it paralyzes you. Like, literally his tongue fell out of his mouth. He couldn't hold his tongue in, and his eyes were rolling in his head. And he's 80 years old. So this is super dangerous. It's super dangerous for anybody to get bit by a bark scorpion. And they rushed him to a hospital in Vegas, actually. And what I noticed, and they took great care of him there, and they gave him the anti-venom for it, but the hallways were lined with patients that were suffering. And my heart was just breaking as I was trying to get to my dad, who happened to have a room. But I just thought, I've never seen this at Boulder City Hospital, patients lining the hallways. And we're so fortunate to have that you're going to get your own personal room if you're at Boulder City Hospital.
That's true.
And your own personal care is just different, and it's such a gift.
It absolutely is. And so there are a lot of individuals that have had a lot of concerns. I'm glad you addressed that. I'm glad to know that Salome took them a moment of her day to reassure them. And I am also grateful that they've had a couple of public meetings to address this and to reassure people of what exactly is happening. You know, title changes, any of those different changes can be scary. And so having this information has been very useful. So we're glad to know that we will still have this facility, because you and I had pointed out before, there is concern. Everybody in Boulder City should be concerned that pays for their insurance and their home insurance, because it would have an impact on us if we did not have a facility such as this. Is that correct?
You bet. Our homeowners insurance would go up if we didn't have a hospital within the distance we have here in Boulder City. We're super fortunate to have a hospital that in a community of 15,000. And by the way, our hospital services Searchlight and Laughlin. You know, we service outlying communities as well. And so we're important to this whole area. Yeah. And I just to go over what the hospital will still provide, because I think there's been confusion as much as been said out there. I'm not a spokesperson for the hospital, but just I can clarify a few things. So we went from a critical access hospital to a rural emergency hospital designation. And I want to focus on what we still provide. We still have a primary care clinic at the hospital. We still have same-day surgery. We still have lab services, radiology, rehabilitation, physical therapy, our long-term care unit, a skilled nursing facility, emergency services, respiratory therapy, outpatient surgery, outpatient behavioral health, and community resources. Those are not being touched. And the only two things that are being closed to the hospital are inpatient care and geriatric psych, which is the behavioral health unit specifically for people 55 years and older. So I think you're going to still see a hospital that can still serve its community.
I love that.
In a great way.
And I have to say, after listening to that list, something that I zoned in on is you said geriatric psych and it's over 55. Okay, great. That's not very nice.
That's us. We're geriatric, Jill.
Shoot, I do not like that word.
I think we graduated from high school the same year.
I think we need a euphemism for that.
Yeah.
I'm glad that's a service that we can have other people that we will be able to share. But oh my goodness, that was a hard thing to hear. Something else, though, on that list, the community resources, you know, something that came out of this conversation. And I was so grateful to Doug, and I can't remember Doug's last name, the CFO.
Doug Lewis.
He shared at that last community meeting that the way that the financial, he's got a perspective, and the way that's going to look will allow for, after the grant dollars from ARPA that came from the city that hired Jennifer Headland, the community resources officer, that position will still be funded. And I was so grateful to hear that, because I know Jennifer has become a true resource and has really been an asset for all of Boulder. So glad to know that's part of that.
Absolutely. She's the community resources. And Jennifer Headland, again, like Salome, goes above and beyond in her job. She has helped so many people in our community find help that they need through all of the things that we have. If I listed one, I'd leave out 100. But yeah.
She has been inspirational. And that was because of a partnership with Citizens for the Common Good and coming to the city and using some of those ARPA funds that the city was able to get to help pay for the first 4 years. And then going forward, so glad to know that she will become a bigger component to the hospital, what they provide.
It's amazing how much this community comes together and without using tax dollars, solves the problems themselves, uses other sources to come and solve real problems that we've had. It's been really inspiring. I wouldn't have learned that lesson anywhere else in the United States. I think you learn it best right here in Boulder City.
I would agree with that, but I'm a little bit biased.
We're biased. We're biased.
All right, so let's bounce back a little bit to Art in the Park. You already have a lot of great help. Many of those come from organizations. So it's not a private individual that signs up. It's organizations that help you cluster all of that. But how does that private individual sign up? How do they volunteer? How do they get a hold of you?
Good question. You can call the Hospital Foundation by looking that number up. I've actually never called it. It's a 294 number. Or you can call my cell phone number, which is 725-999-8606. We are happy to take volunteers. You can tell us where and when you want to work and how many hours you want to work, and we will put you to work, and we guarantee we'll have a good time with you too. We had lots of laughs last year working with Jill. Jill makes it lots of fun too. And the artists are great. It's just a great time to get out and be a part of Boulder City.
Yes, it is. And it kind of leads us into the holidays. And I think everybody has that mindset of great Christmas shopping. The holidays are right around the corner. It's the opening to that everyone's favorite time of year, right?
And speaking of that, can I just mention that this year we've decided to do, it's a community event as well. It's not going to be a huge fundraiser, but just a community event. We're going to bring back the Christmas tree auction that Darlene Burke used to do.
I love that. I forgot about that. I'm so glad you brought that up. I would have forgotten. Yes, not only is that a huge nod to the amazing efforts of the Burke family, right?
Yes.
But everybody loved it, and they loved participating in the decoration of it. And so I think that's awesome. What a great fundraiser.
One of the easiest things I've done is to ask 12 people to decorate trees that we will auction off. We have so many great people here that just jumped at the chance. I'll do a tree. I'll do a tree. We have 12 trees already committed. We have 12 wreaths. And we have 12 big gift baskets. And we're going to do it November 7th at the Boulder City Hotel. And it'll be in the lobby. It'll be scattered throughout the hotel, so you can take a stroll through the hotel and be a part of that all day that Saturday, November 7th. And we're super excited about that. So Art in the Park will kind of roll into that. And then we'll have our annual gala in February.
Perfect. I love that. Okay. So all great information. But I like to learn a little bit more about the person behind it all. So can you share a little bit with us about your first job?
My first job was as a lifeguard. I did that for 10 years, helped get me through college. But my real first professional job was as a third grade teacher. I actually taught third grade at King Elementary School the second year it was open. I taught in Utah before that. I love being an elementary school teacher. I love children. I love watching children learn. I love that children forgive. I love that they're eager. Children are eager to learn. All children are eager to learn. And just seeing that light in their eyes when they're learning is an inspiration to me.
I agree. We need to be around more kids.
It's true. It keeps us young and let me know that I wanted to have children as a big part of my life. I remember sitting at a table at King Elementary with my third graders. I would go eat lunch with them in the cafeteria because I wanted to spend more time with them. And looking all around, I didn't have any children of my own at the time. Just looking at all their faces and thinking, I think I had 26 kids in my classroom that year, thinking I could have 26 kids because I look at each of these kids and I love them all, like so much.
I'm very glad some people are willing to do that. That would not have been my mindset. I was grateful for 2, and it's a good number for
I have
me.
a high tolerance for chaos.
So you have 7 kids, and many of them are married, and they've got kids, and so you have created quite a legacy.
Yes, it's been super fun.
That's awesome.
And very chaotic.
So, yeah, I can imagine Christmas. I can imagine the trash collection at Christmas in front of your house.
It is huge. It's embarrassing.
So tell me something somebody may not know about you. What's an insight?
Well, if you don't know it about me, I probably don't want you to know about me. But I'm from Austin, Texas. I don't know. I think a lot of people think I'm from here. And I'm not. I've been married for 37 years, so I've been here for a very long time. My husband's from Boulder City. I grew up in Austin, Texas. I actually went to the University of Texas, and I think a lot of people don't know that.
I remember. I did know that, and so glad that you shared that. Thank you very much. So another one of my favorite questions, because this gives just a lot of insight, and you would be shocked at some of the most educated professional people that are reading Fabio, but what book are you reading right now?
I didn't know Fabio had a book. Okay. Well, that's a big question. I like to ask the question. I feel like it's really telling to ask the question, if you want to know who a true reader is, what are you reading next? Because they're probably going to give you a list of 10 books that are by their bedside. And They may not have gotten to them because they're so busy, but they have a mound that they're going to get to. The next book I want to get to is Theo of Golden. I've heard that's really good. It's a self-published book, and a publishing company picked it up. I love young adult historic fiction like Elizabeth George Spear. Those are old school. I just love her. I read them out loud to all of my kids.
And it's a comforting. She just has a comforting way.
We have a family book club, and we read a short classic book. We try to do it every month. It ends up spreading out to like every 2 months by the time everybody reads it. So this week, we actually had our book club with my kids, and none of my kids live here. Not one kid lives in Boulder City. All 7 of them live out of Boulder, out of Nevada, out of state. So we do it over Zoom. We just read The Death of Ivan Illich by Leo Tolstoy. That's a mouthful.
Oh, man.
I love classic literature. There's so much to learn about human nature. I just am awe. And when we were talking about the death of Ivan Illich, I'm like, how did Leo Tolstoy understand people so well? It's still so true today. Everything you read about characters and what he was trying to figure out about life, we're still trying to do it today. And I was embarrassed because all of the bad traits of Ivan Illich I could relate to, along with all of his great traits, just like any good classic will do. But
you shouldn't be embarrassed. You should be grateful that you identified them and that
you can get rid of them.
You know how to improve upon it, right? Yeah.
Yes. And then this is such a loaded question, but I love Kristen Hanna. I love The Nightingale, fast reads, just good historic fiction. She just gets in there and she's a page turner.
Yes, very good. I love that. That's one of those beach books.
Yes.
Sitting on the beach. And
yes, definitely.
Love that. Now, if we just had time to go to a beach.
The beach. I know.
Awesome. Okay, so I know your sweet mom and dad. Will you please share with us something that you feel like you've learned from them in life and still carry with you today?
Just growing up, I love this question. Growing up, and it's super personal to my heart, but my dad just really emphasized honesty. He cannot stand a lie. Like, he just can't tolerate it at all. And so he was just talked about that a lot with me. And then my mom taught me a lot about forgiveness. I made a really bad choice in the 8th grade one time. And I remember her coming into my room the next day, and I was just feeling terrible. And she said, today's a new day, and we're going to make it a new day. And we're not going to let that choice define you. We're going to let it refine you, and we're going to move forward. And she has her master's degree in human resource and worked at Motorola. So I think she's also shown me that I can have a career and put my heart into it and change lives through that career. But mostly, I have a little bit too much to say about this, I guess, but mostly my parents have a great marriage. And the reason they have a great marriage is they laugh at each other. They laugh at each other. And then they're not offended by being laughed at. And they just, like, when I got into my own marriage, I had to take a step back, and I realized how difficult that is. That when you're being criticized in your marriage, they just laugh at it, and they hug each other, and they make fun of each other, and they make fun of themselves, and they're able to have a sense of humor. And I think that's the biggest thing that they've taught me.
I love that. I love the idea of being comfortable enough in their own skin and comfortable enough in their relationship that they can laugh and that they find each other funny and still like to be around each other. And I've watched them interact and, watch your mom help your dad all the time. And anyway, it's awesome. Yeah. How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I only have one. So I did not come from a big family. I have a big family, but my brother is also super inspiring. He's a little bit older than me. And you'd have a hard time if you met my brother saying, what do those two have in common? And actually, we have a lot in common because we both get really passionate about the things that we love. I have gotten really passionate about the Hospital Foundation, about Art in the Park, the Gala, all the things that it does. I was really passionate about raising 7 kids. I'm really passionate about the museum that we have in town. My brother's a rancher. He has 2,000 acres in Oklahoma. He has such a southern draw. He's hard to understand, but he has Well, I can't tell you the number of cows he has because he told me that's like saying how much you have in the bank. It's really rude to say
Oh,
how
I
many
did not
cows
know that.
somebody has. Yes, he
Okay.
told me that one time when I was telling somebody how many cows he has. He goes, Les, you just don't say that. But he's a cowboy through and through. He always has been since he was a little boy. And he's just a very hard worker and passionate about what he does. He has a ranch right outside of Dallas in Oklahoma on the Red River. And it's just beautiful. It looks like it's from the movies.
Oh, wow. How beautiful. That's awesome. So, two very successful. So, great job, Mom and Dad. You raised good kids. And we have to give a shout out to someone in your household today because it's his birthday.
Yes, and he's the same age as your
Yes.
daughter. And yes, Joseph Woodbury. He is 33 today, my oldest son. And he is no April Fool's. He was born on April Fool's because we had no choice. But he is the CEO of a company called Neighbor. And he has a very large family himself. Him and his wife, Chloe, who's also from Boulder City. They have 8 children. And Neighbor is a very successful company that is worldwide.
It's impressive. And not that we're talking about Joseph, but go back. I love this whole concept, and it's an entrepreneurial's dream. So go back and talk a little bit about how he and a couple people just got that started, and they saw a need and they filled it.
This is so funny, such a funny story. He was actually working for Bain and Company, which was his dream job. It's a consulting job. He graduated in economics from BYU, and it was his first year at Bain. But he was talking to some friends, and one of his friends was doing an internship for the summer, as seniors in college do. And he was having to drive all of his clothes that he needed to store for the summer. He was having to drive an hour away to put them in a storage unit. And as he was driving, he was passing tons of neighborhoods on the side of the highway. And he thought, every one of these houses has a basement that I could store my clothes in. And I bet I could pay them half of what I'm paying the storage unit to store my clothes. I just don't have any of their phone numbers to ask them. And so they thought of creating a company like Airbnb, but for storage, where you could store things that you needed to store at somebody else's house, a neighbor's house. And so the company is called Neighbor. And they took it to venture capitalists in Utah at the time and to ask for funding to get it off the ground. And that company said, we'll give you $250,000 to get it started. But Joseph has to quit Bain to run it. So he quit Bain. I pulled over. He was just about to have his second child. He called me on the phone and said, I just quit Bain because I'm starting this company, this startup. I pulled over and threw up on the side of Boulder Highway. I remember it well. And I was a little worried about him. And the next year, they got $2 million in funding to get it off the ground. And then the third year, they got $10 million in funding from Andreessen Horowitz. And then they eventually got $50 million in funding. And it's here to stay. It's a great company. I store somebody's RV on the side of my house through Neighbor, and I make $100 a month doing it. But the neat thing is going to his office and seeing they have a TV screen that is showing people signing up for Neighbor. And there's people in Paris, Texas, and there's people in Paris, and there's people in Japan, and all over the world. People sign up to store other people's items. If they have an extra closet in their house or an empty garage or a driveway or 2 acres, some people have semis that park on their extra 2-acre lot.
I love it.
So,
isn't that just amazing? He saw a need, filled it, figured out how to do it, had courage in order to quit his dream job and head in there with people relying on him at home. That's a little nerve-wracking.
Yes.
And so,
yes.
Yeah, nerve-wracking even for Mom and Dad because there's always an ask.
Yes.
Happens at my house often,
yes.
so I do understand. Yes. Well, I am just so proud of him and all of the kids. They're all doing such great things, and you guys have been very inspirational to not only them, but all of us here in Boulder City with all of the good works that you guys are doing, and so thank you for all your service. How in the heck do people connect? So maybe share the website, where your office is located. How do people, you shared the phone number, but maybe you want to share a couple more things with us so that we know exactly how people can connect with you.
Okay, so you can find us on Facebook, and please do, because we post pictures from Art in the Park. We post things from Gala, and all of our events are on there, and it shows how much fun people in Boulder City are having. Pam Leone is our photographer, and she does a great job of keeping those up to date. So you can see us at facebook.com, Heart of the Community Gala, and also Boulder City Hospital Foundation's Art in the Park. We're also on Instagram at Art in the Park BC and Heart of the Community Gala BC. And you can find us at BC Cares / Boulder City Hospital Foundation. And then we have an office. We're located right next to Fox Barbecue on the other side of First Street. And we have people that come in all the time. We call it the shop because people from all over Boulder City come in just to talk sometimes, or to volunteer, or to give us ideas. And we take all of those to heart.
Well, we are so grateful for you. Thank you so much for all that you do. And if anybody has any questions, there'll be more information in all the show notes. And cannot wait for Art in the Park this year.
Thank you for all you do, Jill. You really have made a difference in Boulder City, and I've loved watching it. Thank you.
Well, thank you. You're welcome and proud to be a part of it. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
You too.
This episode of the Best Damn Podcast has been a production of the Boulder City Chamber of Commerce. Please check out all the links and social media handles on our website as well at bouldercitychamber.com. You can find the Best Damn Podcast on all your favorite podcast directories. Like us and share on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Until next time, discover, explore, and unwind in Boulder City.